Good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Heyo and welcome today. Today just joined by me, Daniel, and I'm going to be chit-chatting with you guys here in my channel, either on my Twitch or you might have seen this on my YouTube channel. I streamed these videos on Twitch first, and then export them from there to my YouTube channel. That's the way I usually do them. There are some that I have pre-recorded and then put on there for some reason, and most of them are streamed to YouTube, to Twitch first. It makes it a little bit easier because it's I just have to kind of stream it basically. There's no kind of editing involved after that. I edit it on YouTube if I have to. If I really have to, I will then go ahead, maybe download it, or I would have it recorded on my computer already somewhere, and edit it from there if I really have to. But however, I don't like to spend a lot of time editing, because I have a lot of other kind of important things to do. So yeah, here you can see me painting the last parts of page 11, and that means we're getting very, very close to finishing my book. I'm already kind of started on page 13 at the moment. That means I'm kind of finished page 12, and I'm started on page 13 at the moment. Here you can see me working on page 11. However, this is probably about a week and a half ago, nearly 2 weeks ago, me finishing this piece, this page, and it's not fully finished because there are a few tweaks that I will do before finalizing my book, and putting this whole book together. So today's kind of topic I was going to discuss was producing and learning, and I feel it's an important topic to discuss. It's definitely a topic that I've seen brought up in a few things online at the moment. Some Facebook group questions and Facebook group talking about it. Producing art versus learning, and a lot of like YouTube channels and stuff. I've seen that as well. A lot of artists talking about that. I thought I'd give my 2 cents about it in a way, because it is a important thing to do. To produce art, keep creating and things like that. But also always keep learning. Those are two key elements in being an artist, illustrator, graphic designer, or any of creative outlets. Even in any other fields, lots of other fields, they still have the same kind of principles, producing and learning, doing the work and learning new tasks and new things that come with the job. It's the same for illustration and art and design and everything. It's really important to keep those two things in mind. I'm always constantly learning or trying to learn as much as I can. Obviously, I don't have all the time in the world. I've got to keep pushing forward in what I want to create as well. But I do try and learn as much as I can, when I can, when I've got time to keep learning, and I always, it is always important for me to keep learning, to push forward, and it's important for me to keep producing, for me to keep creating these YouTube videos and keep creating, new pages for my book, and then keep, finishing the book off, creating new works, for people to see and things like that. It's kind of important and build my portfolio kind of a thing as well. as well as trying to tell my story, that's all important for me. But you know, also learning as well. If I'm not learning, in a way, for me, the things I do, it's always a learning curve. With creating this book that I'm creating at the moment, there's quite a bit that I've learnt. Not to kind of let things slide. Let things slide. That's the way they look. I can't do much about it. I can, and characters, pushing and playing with how characters look, fixing things up, making sure that, like for instance, in this piece here, I took some time out and redid his spikes for Henry spikes there, the hedgehog's spikes. I fixed those all up because it was just not working, and I just needed to start from scratch with that element. And yeah, learning how to do that as well. Just and learning how to step back and things like that. That's always important. I'm always constantly trying to level up and do new things and try new things. Like every now and again, I might stop this book. There are quite a few videos, and you'll see in my YouTube channel that you'll see like all these book pages videos of me painting certain book pages and stuff. And then certain breaks in between, you'll see like me drawing pugs, me drawing lots of characters and things like that. So I'm always trying something new, and that's always important to keep up. You don't want to be drawing the same old thing in the same old way every day, because otherwise you'll just be known for drawing that one thing. And the likelihood of making it in the industry or learning something new or growing as an artist is very nil when you're just drawing, a light bulb 10 million thousand times. You'll be very good at drawing that light bulb, but you'll know nothing else. Maybe there's other ways to draw that light bulb, in different positions. Maybe you can make the light bulb out of different materials. You could try different things, and if you expand that, you'll learn so much more than just drawing a light bulb. And it's like material studies. If you just learn how to paint wood and that's all you learn, it's going to be very difficult to continue. If you want to get into like architecture and you want to draw buildings and stuff, all your drawings might turn out to be wooden houses, so it can work, but you're stuck on doing just wooden houses. Clients come to you and they want a brick house or a modern-esque kind of house, not fully wood. And you can't do that because you just draw wood or you just create wood. So yeah, learning new skills is always a bonus, even if it doesn't apply to what you want to do. That's always a bonus. Like for instance, I've learned 3D design. I've learned drawing humans and do heaps of drawing studies of people. That doesn't exactly apply to my work. I don't really draw many humans in my work, and I usually stick to creatures and animals and characters. Characters per se, that side of things does have a human elements to it, so that's important. but mainly focused on animals and things. So, I don't really use, humans that often. I don't really draw them that often. However, learning how to draw them, and I've done characters before as well, humanoid characters in a way. Um, it does help, learning that kind of thing. It does add to your characters. It helps you draw. It helps you just keep motivated sometimes. Um, it's a skill set that you could bring to the table one day. Maybe, you know, someone wants you to do a character, or you get a bit bored of drawing animals or creatures all the time, so you want to draw humans. You can, because you've got that skill set, you've got that knowledge there. So it's always important to learn that, and it crosses over. Learning how to draw humans does help in me drawing animals and creatures as well. And vice versa. If I was a human artist, I did humans all the time. I did kind of, I don't know, maybe animes or something like that. Learning and draw animals, and drawing animals, and just studying those as well does help in drawing humans as well. There's relationships and body shapes and lines and structures that we learn by drawing all these things, and they all relate to each other. I did a video this week about the egg shape. Well, I think it's an important shape to learn and draw. And there's so many things out there you can draw, and you can use an egg to create something with. If you get really good at drawing an egg, it will help in so many things, like drawing the skull, eyes per se. Eyes kind of got an egg-like shape in a way, not perfectly. The shape of the outside of the eye is kind of egg shaped in a way. The actual eye, the inside is actually spherical, but the outside is kind of the egg-like shape. And look at his nose. His nose is like an egg shape here. That's the way I kind of designed his character. He was, it's a little bit kind of added that cartoonish touch. I didn't want perfect realism in this book, definitely not. I still wanted a realistic kind of a style, but comic-ish book-like. If you look at all the pages, they fit together quite well, and they definitely have that kind of style. That you understand what's going on. It's not that it looks this way just because it's a style. It's it's its own thing and its own creating, and works well. And that's the thing, you gotta see if it works well. You can push and play with styles and things like that, but if you don't know how something works or how to draw something, in reality, if you don't know how to draw a light bulb, how are you gonna understand how to cartoonize it, or push that light bulb, make it out of glass or something? How are you going to draw that? If you don't learn how to draw a light bulb, you won't be able to learn how to draw a light bulb made out of glass. If that makes any sense to you, yeah, I'm producing with most my time. Everyone. I hear a lot of people, I don't know if it's just at the moment or if it's been a long time, people kind of discussing this kind of thing. Asking, how much should I produce? Should I worry about producing my work, and should I worry about learning more, and things like that. And it's all a learning curve for everyone. It's I don't think there's definitely not a right way and a wrong way. I think you can learn by producing. Um, and I've heard, so many others say, yeah, you can learn while you produce work. Um, However, when you're just learning, studying and learning new tricks and things, you learn so much faster, and you get better in the long run. And if you just keep producing, you'll slowly, learn bits and pieces here and there, um, and yeah, slowly level up as you go. Um, yeah, but I think you shouldn't worry so much. Definitely at the beginning, about kind of producing in a way. Um, so at the start, you want to be learning a lot. I definitely did. I think to begin with, I kind of was kind of producing a little bit. I was happy, showing my art, going and showing my art to people, and things like that. Um, hey, look at me, I drew this, that kind of thing. Um, Kind of in the early beginnings. I definitely, I would say that I would be that kind of kid that have had like 10,000 drawings in his notebook, and I would have one that I'd go around to show everyone. So I definitely, I would do thousands of drawings, and then eventually there would be one I'd go show everyone, because I thought it looked cool. you know. So I definitely do, learn a lot, or keep creating a lot. So yeah, here you can see, the massive change in his spikes, um, that you can see. And this, yeah, it took me a while to produce. I just kind of, excuse me, I had to step back, go into a new file, and just create from scratch, um, of how this thing is. So I basically took one, or drew one spike, and flipped it. So I did the right side, and then I created all the right side and flipped it to the left side, and then I did the center to make this kind of shape that I was creating here, of these spikes. And then from here I brought it into this file and placed it on top and just painted over it, from there, because it was all placeholder. I was like, thinking about possibly like doing it again, but with the spikes looking very very rendered or something. But eventually, I did this and I voted against it because there'd be different shading for each spike. So the amount of time of making one spike look really really good, and then reproducing it in this way, wouldn't be any beneficial really, because I'd have to paint over most of them again anyway. So I decided against that. It could work in some situations, in some creature designs and things like that you might have. You could use like overlays and things like that to fix it up, and layers, have certain spikes on different layers, and paint those spikes on those layers. But there's so many of them, that it would become very confusing very quickly. So I decided against that too, editing that way. I just painted from here. That's why, me just kind of painting it, without this kind of outlined edge in a way, this kind of mathematical way to fix this up, um, was going nowhere. You know, I needed to use kind of this, in a way, mathematical kind of easy procedure to create this, you know, this outline. It's like how, you know, you draw the scale. You kind of need to start somewhere. You need a sphere to start out the whole process of drawing one. A sphere. I'm sure you've probably seen a lot of those Procure things. If not, just look it up. Procure, like drawing scales and stuff like that. And there's lots of videos about drawing scales. Like, you'll see that most of them will show you that, you know, you start off with a spherical shape kind of a thing, and then you extrude it, things like that. You start off with common things that people can draw, and that's where you begin to learn, you know. If you learn all those shapes, forms, shades, colors, then, you know, you can use them if you need to. Yeah, like for instance, when I'm learning character art or drawing humans or something like that, I might see a pose, like maybe someone sneezing, or someone looking really scary, or very angry, and then I could remember what that face looked like or what it felt like, drawing it, and then add it to, like, for instance, yeah, drawing an angry person, add it to this cat here, you know, that's looking very angry, trying to get rid of Henry. He doesn't want him to have his fruit. He doesn't like Henry at all. Well, he doesn't know Henry. He doesn't like this hedgehog. Doesn't want him in his garden. This is his garden. Very territorial. Yeah, and that's the kind of look that I was going for. Yeah, that's the kind of feeling I try and get, and whether I capture that from drawing humans or not, or other things, and bring it into this, it does help, you know, doing that kind of thing. Yeah. Awesome. So hopefully everyone's keeping safe. I know this is a time of uncertainty. And everyone has to stay at home. Everyone's advised to stay indoors. A lot of people kind of picking up new hobbies and things, like doing art and crocheting and cooking. You know, some people are baking, stealing all the flour and baking, and doing all sorts of stuff, doing like TikToks and all sorts of stuff people are getting into while they're bored at home. You know, there's quite a few, you know, artists at the moment taking this time to learn, which is great. So, you know, if you do have the time at the moment to paint a little extra than you usually do, you know, go for it. Paint a little extra, learn a little extra. It's awesome to do that. I mean, I've just come up with a little bit of time lately. I had 4 days off, and a couple of days here and there, and yeah, it's always good to have some extra time. I would say that, you know, I would paint probably 20% more than I would usually. But it's surprising because, you know, when I'm kind of, you know, busy, kind of always painting, creating, at usually those times I see myself, when I have some time to do more painting and stuff, I kind of see myself, oh, I'm gonna paint so much, you know, gonna finish these pages off. but in reality is if I do get more time to do stuff, at least like 50% of that time I'm trying to learn something new, like either watching some YouTube videos about painting and just growing as an artist and things like that, and dealing with trying to get better at art and trying to use my time wisely, time management, trying to balance all those skills and things like that to try and get better and push forward in my career, and learn new skills and things like that. I spend some of my time doing that, um, trying new things. I've done that, recently I just brought in a new thing inspired by watching this Bobby Chio. He's doing this 90-minute challenge at the moment, and a few other YouTube channels and videos like Adam Duff, who's been talking a bit about learning. He had one about learning and things like that, which was important to listen to. Yeah, because what it brought into my routine is a 30-minute little thing where I draw from reference. It's always important to draw from reference. It's something I think I don't do as often as I used to. Obviously I had more time, but when probably 2 years back, probably I used to draw a lot more from reference. Especially starting out, I used to draw all the time from reference. All I would draw is reference. Now, most of the time, I'm kind of using reference to help me, guide me, painting, but I'm not exactly drawing from reference most of the time. Or copying, as some people want to call it, whatever you want to call it, copying, because some people call it copying. Which is fine. But copying art and copying works, studying pieces, I don't do that as often anymore. I used to do it more often. I would walk down the road and draw sheep in the paddock, or draw horses in the paddock, or whatever, or go out and draw some flower that I saw, or just draw from home some random pictures on the internet or something. So it's something that I feel like is missing a little bit more. So I decided to keep it up to 30 minutes a week at least of drawing references. It's good enough, and I've done a little bit more, I would say, this week. Some weeks it's hardish to kind of keep up, because I've like put it off a little bit, because I'm working on trying to get these YouTube videos out and stuff like that, and all the other stuff I do. So put it off a little bit, and then by Sunday I still have like 20 minutes to do at least. But some weeks, like this week, I started with Monday. I did like 20 minutes on Monday, and then I did like 10 minutes the next day, and I've done 5 or 10 minutes nearly every night now. So I've done probably over an hour's worth of just drawing from reference this week, which is good. It's given me just a little bit more confidence in drawing, and it's definitely helped me. I feel it's gonna affect me in the long run, and it's good just to do that for confidence as well. If you feel kind of, I've seen people at the moment, they don't know what to draw all the time in the world, but they don't know what to draw. Me, it's kind of opposite. I don't have enough time in the world, but I have so many projects that I want to draw, so many artworks that I want to finish, And there's the other spectrum. There's so much time in the world, but you don't know what to draw, or you don't know what to create. If you're in that situation, just draw from reference. Just look at reference, draw from it, get inspired by it. And I've done that for so many years. Me just sitting there drawing references, getting how to draw books, drawing from the drawing how to draw books, going online, looking at how to draw this, how to draw that, and drawing that, drawing this. I do that often on draw Pokemon. I drew once a week. I think it was once a week. I did a drawing of a Pokemon each week. And I'd enter it into like this online contest kind of a thing where you enter your Pokemon drawings into the contest, and there was a certain Pokemon that you had to draw every week. And it was good to just be a part of a little club where I could do that every week and post that drawing, and share it with people, and do that each week. As well as I was doing other stuff at that time, working on bigger projects. That was, at that time, I had a lot of time on my hands, so during the kind of, it'll take me about an hour or two to do these Pokemon drawings. So I did a Pokemon drawing for like the first hour or two or something, or I'd work on my main project, and then in the afternoon I would finish off a Pokemon drawing, which would take me 2 or 3 hours or something, and then do a little bit of learning, or drawing some other kind of stuff. And then that's, that went every day. I'd do my main project, or work on my main project for a bit, and that would take about a month to do my main project, or a couple of weeks depending on how big the main project was. This main project here is like a probably year-old project. It's been quite a while in the making of this book, and that's because, one, I've been doing other stuff on the side, just trying to learn and grow as an artist, and the other time is I don't have all the time in the world, so I have to kind of it takes me a few weeks to kind of finish these one page, plus extra, bits and pieces. I've had to go over this book like twice per se, and even then I've still got bits and pieces to tweak. If I did have all the time in the world, it might have been finished by now, but I've got to pay the bills, so that's the thing. Yeah. It's, for me, I'm working on my own works, I'm working on my own pieces, so I've got all that kind of learning with it at hand. I am producing, but I am kind of learning at the same time, because I'm doing different things and things like that. Whereas if you're like a professional in the field, producing things for clients, you may be producing the same kind of characters, or the same kind of style or look that you are hired for. So you're not learning. You might not be learning as much. You probably do. You do learn a bit doing that kind of thing. But yeah, you gotta put some time aside for yourself as well. Producing work for other things like movies and games, but putting some time aside for doing your work, your learning work, because that's always important. I'm always kind of doing my own work. At the moment I'm not doing work for anyone else. I'm doing work for myself in a way. I am my own client, so I've got that. I've got that in the bag, so to say. But however, not everyone's in that situation. But the sacrifice with that, I don't get to paint all the time either, which is unfortunate. I actually don't know, if I'd. I think I definitely would be, craving doing this kind of stuff. My own projects, doing my YouTube channel, keeping those things up. Um, but I was, thinking about if I was like um, a full time illustrator, doing work for clients and things like that, would I be able to keep up like doing these YouTube videos and stuff like that? I don't know. I definitely think I would because I'm not one to kind of let things go, but after doing 40 hours of drawing a day, do I want to spend more time drawing? Probably. But yeah, just sometimes it's like that. You spend a whole day producing art, creating pieces that are for other people, creating works like designs, and I've done that in design school. Producing or creating designs and other things, for a certain project or something. And I'm producing, and then whenever I get the chance, I'll be doing my own project. I did that for many years actually. I would kind of study and do all the projects that I need to do, designs, drawings, whatever, and keep doing those. And then, once kind of my homework's kind of done, or to the point where it's like, well, it's not due till another 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm pretty ahead, I could have a bit of a break to do my own work, I would do that, and then I'd be doing something else. Like, I think with one project, I actually made a whole drawing of a bunny. It took me like a week or two or something to do, and then in the end, I put it as one of my art pieces to show. And I didn't really have to do that in that class, I'm pretty sure. Could have just done sketches and drawings of something, but I ended up doing a drawing that took me like maybe all up of 8 or 9 hours. But I could have done an hour long drawing or something like that and handed it in, and it'd be fine. It would have passed. But however, I ended up expanding it. Spending the whole weekend kind of working on this piece, and trying to do the homework as well. I expanded it a bit further than it needed to be for some projects, especially for like my last project, which was Junkyard Adventures. I ended up pushing myself to create a whole book, illustrating the whole book, writing the whole book, and it definitely was hectic, but it was lots of fun, and I did learn a lot, and I don't regret it. So it's there, and one day I've got it's there, and I want to go over it one day again. Push some of the pages that aren't looking too shabby. I definitely look at some pages, and I'm like this. This could be better. So that's another project in itself, as well as me redoing those pages. Definitely a lot I can bring out from it as well. Different illustrations that I could push and put into my portfolio. So yeah, I'm gonna be probably polishing those pages at some stage. I may do you may see me actually do a stream. I mean, that's a good idea. To get one of those pages, and yeah, just kind of repaint one of them, and put it on a YouTube video and see what comes out of it. I'm thinking about that too. I've got a kind of I've only got so this page 11. I've only got 12, 13, and 14 to keep painting on. So I'm gonna finish this big project and not have much to go on. Like, I would have to start fresh with something new. and I mean that could be easily solved. I could just paint. For instance, I could take kind of, you know, what Bobby Chester 90-minute drawing challenge thing and do that and put that onto the YouTube video. Or, you know, just do some drawing or painting or something of some sort, like create another pug. There's many projects that I could do. But I might feel a little lost at the end of the project. I know there's a little bit more to do once it's finished, once the pages are, you know, all there. I've got to create a title page, so you guys may see a title page painting being on YouTube at some stage as well. I've got to put it all together. I think the text is all there at the moment. Mainly a little work, but not too much work. Just needs a little bit of tweaking, but it's there. So yeah. So that's all I really have time for. Hopefully, you know, you did enjoy this video. Did enjoy, you know, watching me paint and create. Learn something new. As you can see, I'm creating new things slowly. I'm getting closer to creating new things. And yeah, I'm producing, I'd say, more than I am learning at the moment. However, I am learning as I produce as well, and I am trying to push the amount of time that I am, you know, learning things as well, and that's always important. As long as you know that you are always learning something new, you're pushing yourself forward, rather than staying plateau and producing the same thing over and over again, in the same way, you know, drawing a circle in the same way with a pencil on a piece of paper every day. Will only get you better at drawing a circle on a piece of paper every day. You know, as long as you try and push yourself, push those boundaries, you'll definitely head towards your goals, and that's what I'm hoping I'm doing. So thanks for joining me. Feel free to comment down below if you enjoyed this video. If you have anything you would like to say about this topic, I feel it's very important. Even if you discuss it and chat to me about it, I'd really appreciate it. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.